Hello and welcome to the channel. Today, we are going to talk about a side of moringa that you may not be aware of. Most people know that some parts of the moringa tree are extremely nutrient dense and widely consumed around the world. But some parts may not be ideal for regular consumption at all. So in this video, we're going to break down the moringa tree piece by piece. We'll cover what's edible, what's commonly used, what's actually researched, which parts may require caution, and why understanding the difference could completely change the way you look at moringa altogether. What makes moringa so unique? Before we start breaking down each individual part of the moringa tree, it's important to first understand why moringa became so popular in the first place. Because this isn't just another trendy wellness plant that appeared online recently. Moringa has actually been used traditionally for generations across parts of Asia, Africa, and Latin America, where different communities have used different parts of the tree for food, cooking, nutrition, and traditional herbal practices long before modern supplements ever existed. Because it's considered incredibly nutrient-dense, unlike many plants where only one specific section is commonly used, moringa is unusual because nearly every part of the tree has been used in some way historically. This is also where people start oversimplifying moringa. Because once they hear that multiple parts are used traditionally, they assume every part must automatically be equally safe, equally nutritious, and equally appropriate for regular consumption. And that's not necessarily true, because the chemical makeup of each section is different too, which means the effects on the human body can also be very different depending on which part is being used. Some parts are more concentrated and should be used carefully, and some parts are traditionally used in ways that may not translate well into modern everyday wellness use. So now that we understand why moringa is considered such a unique and complex plant, let's start breaking down the individual parts of the tree, beginning with the safest and most commonly consumed section of all. Moringa leaves. When people talk about moringa supplements, powders, wellness products, or teas, they are almost always referring to the leaves. The leaves are by far the most researched, most widely consumed, and most nutritionally valued part of the entire tree. This is the section that built moringa's reputation as a nutrient-dense superfood. And compared to other parts of the plant, the leaves have the strongest combination of traditional use, nutritional value, and overall safety when used appropriately. Nutritionally, moringa leaves are extremely dense in beneficial compounds. They contain nutrients like iron, plant protein, antioxidants, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, and a wide range of plant compounds and polyphenols. These nutrients are connected to areas people commonly struggle with today, including low energy, poor nutrition, oxidative stress, and general wellness support. For example, the iron content is one reason moringa is often associated with natural energy support, because iron plays an important role in oxygen transport and energy production inside the body. The antioxidants help support the body against oxidative stress, which is connected to aging, inflammation, and cellular damage. And vitamins A, C, and E are all important for skin health, immune function, and overall cellular support. That combination is a big part of why moringa leaves became so popular in modern wellness culture. And another reason the leaves are so widely used is because they're versatile. People consume moringa leaves in multiple forms, including powder, tea, capsules, smoothies, and even cooking applications in traditional cuisines. This is the part most supplements use for a reason, because compared to the rest of the tree, the leaves offer the strongest balance between nutrition, practicality, traditional use, and safety. And if someone is completely new to moringa, this is usually the safest and most logical place to start. Moringa pods, drumsticks. Now let's move to another commonly used part of the moringa tree, the pods, often called drumsticks in traditional cooking. And if you've never seen them before, they're long green seed pods that are widely used in dishes across parts of India, Southeast Asia, and other regions where moringa has traditionally been part of the diet. Unlike the leaves, which are often used in supplement form, the pods are more commonly treated as food ingredients. They're frequently added into soups, curries, stews, and vegetable dishes. And nutritionally, the pods provide a combination of fiber, minerals, plant nutrients, and general nutritional support. One of the biggest benefits associated with the pods is digestive support, largely because of their fiber content. And when properly prepared and cooked, moringa pods are generally considered safe for most people. Pay attention, that's an important detail. Cooked. Because preparation is very important with many plants, especially when it comes to digestibility. And for many traditional cultures, moringa pods are simply part of normal food preparation, rather than concentrated wellness products. They're used more like vegetables than supplements, which is one reason they're viewed as one of the more practical and approachable parts of the tree. Moringa flowers. One of the less commonly discussed parts of the moringa tree, the flowers. Moringa flowers are traditionally consumed in some regions and are sometimes used in teas, infusions, or cooking preparations depending on the local culture. Compared to the leaves, the flowers have a lighter nutritional profile, meaning they're not usually viewed as the primary nutritional powerhouse of the tree. But they still contain beneficial plant compounds, including antioxidants and polyphenols. Moringa seeds. Now we move into one of the more complex and misunderstood parts of the moringa tree. Moringa seeds are fascinating because they have several unique uses that go far beyond nutrition alone. One of the best-known uses is oil production. Moringa seed oil is commonly used in skincare products, cosmetics, and sometimes culinary applications because it contains healthy fats and has a relatively stable composition. But the seeds are also known for something very unusual. Certain compounds in moringa seeds can help bind particles and impurities in water, which is why they've been studied and used in some natural filtration applications. And nutritionally, the seeds contain healthy fats, protein, and concentrated plant compounds. Unlike the leaves, the seeds are much more concentrated in certain compounds. And concentrated plant compounds can produce stronger effects inside the body. That doesn't make the seeds dangerous, but it does call for moderation. Some people overconsume moringa seeds, assuming that if a little is beneficial, more must be better. But with concentrated plant compounds, that logic can become problematic very quickly. Overconsumption may increase the likelihood of digestive discomfort or other unwanted effects depending on the individual and the amount used. And this introduces one of the most important principles in natural wellness. Useful doesn't always mean ideal in large amounts. This is exactly why not all parts of the moringa tree should be treated the same way. The parts that require caution. Now we need to talk about the sections that require much more caution. And honestly, this may be the most important section of the entire video. Plants are chemical defense systems. They produce compounds for survival, protection, reproduction, and adaptation. And depending on the part of the plant, some of those compounds may be much stronger, and sometimes much riskier than others. Moringa roots. Let's start with the most misunderstood part of the entire tree, the roots. Historically, moringa roots have been used in certain traditional medicinal systems for specific purposes. And because the roots have a sharp, spicy flavor, somewhat similar to horseradish, some people become curious and assume they're simply another edible part of the plant. The roots are chemically very different from the leaves. And unlike the leaves, which are primarily valued for nutrition, roots in many plants often contain stronger biological defense compounds designed to protect the plant underground from insects, bacteria, fungi, and environmental threats. And in moringa roots specifically, researchers and traditional sources have identified the presence of certain alkaloids and potentially toxic compounds that raise legitimate safety concerns. Now, this does not mean moringa roots are automatically poisonous in every situation, but it does mean they are not considered appropriate for casual consumption, experimental use, or routine supplementation in the way moringa leaves are commonly used. Certain traditional concerns have historically connected root compounds to risks during pregnancy, due to possible uterine stimulation effects. That alone is a major reason casual experimentation with moringa roots is generally discouraged, especially without proper expertise or medical guidance. And honestly, for most people, there is simply no strong reason to use the roots casually when the leaves already provide the majority of the nutritional value moringa is known for. Root bark. Now, if the roots already require caution, the root bark is considered even more concerning. Historically, root bark has been used in some traditional systems for specific medicinal purposes. But traditional medicinal use does not automatically mean something is safe for regular modern consumption. Root bark contains stronger compounds that raise toxicity concerns. And this is one of the parts experts usually recommend avoiding for regular use. How to use moringa safely. So after looking at the differences between the leaves, seeds, flowers, pods, roots, and bark, if someone wants to use moringa safely and practically, what's actually the best approach? Despite all the attention surrounding the entire moringa tree, the safest, most researched, and most widely recommended part is still the leaves. That's the section most experts, supplement companies, and traditional food uses focus on consistently. And there's a reason for that. The leaves provide the strongest balance between nutritional value, practical daily use, research support, and overall safety, which is why most people who use moringa regularly stick to forms like leaf powder, capsules, tea, or fresh leaves used in cooking. And for beginners, this is usually the smartest place to start. Not with concentrated root preparations, not with homemade bark remedies. In most cases, consistency matters much more than intensity. A moderate amount used consistently over time is usually far more practical than taking extremely large amounts occasionally. And another important factor people overlook is quality. Because not all Moringa products are equal. Some low-quality products contain fillers, some are poorly processed. Some lose nutritional value because of improper drying or storage. Ideally, people should look for products that clearly identify the use of Moringa leaves specifically, rather than vague, whole plant descriptions that don't explain what parts are included. And if someone is completely new to Moringa, starting slowly is usually the smartest approach. Focus primarily on the leaves, use reputable products, avoid unnecessary experimentation with roots or bark, and approach the plant with the same respect you would give any concentrated natural substance. When used responsibly, Moringa can absolutely be a valuable nutritional tool. So when you really step back and look at the full picture, Moringa is honestly one of the most interesting plants in the wellness world. Moringa can be incredibly valuable, but understanding which parts are useful, safe, and properly studied matters more than most people realize. And if you enjoy evidence-based wellness content, subscribe to the channel, because we'll continue breaking down natural health topics in a way that's practical, balanced, and easier to actually understand.